Someone mentioned earlier that David Yezzi had mentioned about reading new poems. I don't know if that person is still here. He was here last time, right? David Yezzi was here last time. Okay. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. So I'm going to take his advice. I don't usually bother people with things that haven't been published yet, but I think I'm going to try this one anyway. I write poetry with the Oxford Etymological Dictionary open, the compact edition. They're still quite large, and they have a large magnifying glass to read the words, because they're very tiny in order to fit that many words in. And it's not to find big words, because if you're using a big word, you're drawing attention to it musically, or because you're being ironic or something like that. It's to find the roots of the words and the way other writers first used them and the way those uses have changed over the years. And when you write that way, you see words going down as well as across and sort of getting richer. So because I probably read too much Shakespeare, when I hear the word kite, the first thing I think of is a bird of prey, a raptor. And then we get our word kite from that. Now, I haven't flown a kite since I was young, but I remember sometimes we work so hard to get it off the ground. You run and you run, and sometimes it goes like that. Other times you get it up there, and then suddenly the wind catches it, and it's not yours anymore. It's like a larger force has taken it away from you. And then sometimes it was so strong, three of us couldn't hold it. We'd tie it to the end of the baseball diamond and then just leave it because it was just so powerful. So I wanted to write a poem called Kite, partly about the creative experience of creating something that then becomes larger than you are, and more importantly, something other than you. It's outside of you. So this is called Kite. I ran my kite until it caught the wind. Its twine went taut, and from its newfound flight it took command as much as I, and trained my arm toward the sky, and strained tensed armature of spreaders, spar and knock. It threw its silhouette against the sun, then bowed blue before a berm of cloud, and set itself against a greater blue. It swooped, twisted my wrists, and grew as strong as I, as nervy as a bird of prey, a winged but featherless raptor I once held in my arms, now spun apart from rule, to teach me how it was a thing apart, though still tethered, fatherless, and finally unfathered. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And I'll do a few poems to round out the set from my new book. If anyone is at all interested in what I'm doing, I do have a lot of free stuff here, like stickers and coasters and magnets. I have my new book here. I have a CD I just put out, spoken word with a band, and I have that for sale as well. So this is from my new book, All of You on the Good Earth. It was just published last month. This one's called Sunrise with Sea Monsters. And it's an homage to like the Saturday afternoon horror movies we used to watch back in the day, when there were 3 channels on TV, and it was black and white, by the way. That's before cable and all that, so hopefully some of you remember that. And it's dedicated to Ray Harryhausen, who did the special effects for a lot of those movies like Earth versus the Flying Saucers and things. And he's still alive, so it's in honor of him. Sunrise with Sea Monsters. Huge octopus topples the Golden Gate. The beast from 20,000 fathoms skulks ashore, hearing a foghorn, lonely for friends. Nessie slips from the lock to seize a mate. Swarming tentacles haul great breathing hulks from frozen deeps to clutch prey, then descend. The clumsy frogman from the Black Lagoon gazes, glistening, from the giant sail of the drive-in movie screen at nestled, flinching teens. But these things don't belong here, and soon slink from secured soil, sink in a cold whirl, beaten back by ray guns, germs, and marines. Seabirds, drunken on guts, hover over churned seas, watching for the next poor monster. for the cab home, and in the meantime, I'd like to thank Rich and Aubrey and all of you. I was, enormously gratified to hear these readings tonight, and I had so much fun. We had tragedy, and we had some comedy, sometimes the two together, which is what I like to do. I don't know if anyone reads books anymore, but
we do.
This is a poem called Cover to Cover. I don't collect them. They just accumulate, tower higher into shoddy columns, climbing weirdly like crystal formations or pillars of coral. The thought of their weight crushes. Their coarse traffic of wars I've thumbed through, their long summers and snow. They weigh tons. They slide onto the stove, under the fridge, into the tub. They prop open windows, serve as coasters. They have traveled with me and slept beside me. They fashion a bridge to vanished rooms, sorrows, and suns. Lord knows why I haul them from city to city. I slip them together like bricks. They become a wall, my greed, my fears, everything, nothing at all.
That's my favorite.
I may have to resort to the table of contents. This is what it's there for, I guess. I'm sorry. I thought I had the cat poem flagged. There it is, 66. And those of us who have cats will, even those of you who don't have cats, you'll understand what this is all about. And people who like to control things and like to have power and control other people don't feel that comfortable around cats sometimes. So this is a little historical anecdote. A legend about cats. They made Alexander just a bit tense. He could rule the world, but not a tabby. Julius Caesar could bash his way through Gaul, but faint if a lynx pissed near his tent. Genghis Khan hacked a gruesome dynasty all across Eurasia, but he would fall from his horse at the sight of a sleeping cat. Napoleon never won for players he couldn't control, despised all felines. Even Mussolini and Hitler, who sat on brief empires, still had to say their prayers when forced to face off with the tiger's kind. Those who perfected the art of the tormentor long ago, purring great long dreams of gore.